Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM, we welcome you all back to our program. Also, those tuning in through online affiliates around the world, including our radio family. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. We're excited to welcome actor Geovanni Gopradi to our program today. We're going to talk to Geovanni not only about his love of acting, but what it's been like for him to do what he loves in front of the camera and to be able to see the response. And this year is already off to a great start for Geovanni. He's been a part of some great projects, including Will and Grace, as well as one of my favorite shows on the Oprah Winfrey Network, The Haves and the Have-Nots. We're going to talk to Geovanni about that experience and what it's been like for him to not only associate with the cast, but also with the fans of the program as well. If you're just not hearing about Geovanni, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can stay connected with him. But Geovanni, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Hey, glad to do it, man. I mean, let's just start off by talking about the year that's been 2018 for you, because you are already off to quite a great start. I mean, what has it been like for you already to kind of reflect on all the great things you've done this year?
Oh, it's the reflection goes way back, to when I started. Every time I book a new project and I advance in my career, I always, like to look back and see the trajectory and all the experiences that have gotten me to here, because acting is not only about talent and skills, but it's heavily weighed on experience, and that's actually one of the things that came into play, played a big role in my first episode of The Haves and Have-Nots.
Yeah. So for you, do you think that appreciation also, Geovanni, is one of the reasons why you've been able to have the career you've had so far, because you do appreciate what it takes to get you from one project to the next?
I do. It's a lot of work. The glamour is only about 15%. The rest of it is just really hard work and dedication and staying in the game. That's the biggest trick, and the hardest thing to accomplish is to be able to figure out how to stay in the game, long enough where you can stabilize yourself in a career in acting.
Right, for sure. So take us back a little bit, Geovanni. As I mentioned, to your first time on with us. I mean, when did you first realize that acting was that thing for you that you wanted to do?
So I was in college, and I was facing a career in law, and I had to overcome some social anxieties and some public speaking fear that I had growing up, and came to the point where I had to face it, overcome it, if I wanted to pursue a career in law. And so acting classes just seemed like the right thing at the moment, and to help me with that. Nothing else seemed to work. So one class turned into 5, and 5 classes turned into a 2-year conservatory program, and here we are.
Right. And I think that, now, of course, your fans are able to kind of stay connected with you, Geovanni, as I do now through social media. I mean, what has that aspect been like for you? I mean, as you said, and I'm so glad you brought up about the glamour of it and how it's such a small percentage versus what it really takes to do what you do and to get to where you get to. When you're kind of able to scroll through photos, let's just say that, I mean, over the past couple of years on Instagram, what you've been able to share with us, do you still have those wow moments like, wow, I actually, have been able to do this thing that I want to do?
Well, the funny thing about social media is that people see what you want them to see. And right. So what you see in my social media is about 15% of what I have to go through. The day-to-day life and what the struggles that I have to go through aren't really portrayed very accurately on social media. Those things we don't really get to see. And so, but what we do get to see is the landmarks that are creating in my career. Those pinnacle moments, those moments also that within my career that bring me a lot of joy. The ones that are basically the moments that are worth the struggle is what we get to enjoy on social media. And I also use that platform and all my other platforms to promote and to bring awareness also to special needs, like Special Olympics, like UNICEF, Best Buddies, and those type of organizations, which I advocate for.
For sure. We're definitely going to talk more about that, Geovanni. I'm glad you mentioned it. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Geovanni Gopradi to our program today. We're talking with him not only about his acting journey, but what it's been like for him to do what he loves, the work that it's taken to get him to where he is today in 2018, and then, of course, what it's been like for him to share that with all of you. So, as I mentioned, two of the big things that people got to see, especially on social media, Geovanni, this year already, of course, have been, of course, that funny episode from Will and Grace, but also, of course, you're becoming a series regular on the Haves and the Have-Nots. I mean, let's talk about, and it just kind of as a comparison for a moment, of those two projects, because very different characters, of course. I mean, is that part of the fun for you as an actor to be able to bring to life different types of characters?
To be somewhat schizophrenic, yeah, it's a lot of fun. As creators, as we all are in this industry, from the bottom to the top, it's all about creating stories and creating characters and creating those memorable moments that sometimes help us shape social views, political views, bring awareness to issues. We use that platform for a lot of different things, and for entertainment value mostly. But it's a lot of fun as a creator to be able to have the freedom, for example, like in Haves and Have-Nots, to be able to come up and create the character based on what the director gives you, what he writes, which Tyler Perry actually writes all his shows and directs them. So what he gives you, he just gives you the freedom to just go ahead and create and go off of that. Something like Will and Grace, it's a little more specific. Will and Grace, it's a sitcom, and you're coming in with comedic geniuses on set. That was an amazing experience, just being privy to see how they go through the whole process. It was amazing. Such a learning experience. But it's a little more specific. The sitcom style is much more specific. There's a tempo, there's a rhythm, and you have a lot of opportunities to reshoot the scenes. When you talk about the Haves and Have-Nots, we don't. Tyler Perry moves at lightning speed compared to the rest of the industry. Tyler Perry films an episode a day when usually it takes about 3 or 4 days to shoot an episode. So he's filming 80 pages of dialogue a day. So it's one of those things where you step on set and you just have to be ready to go. No matter what happens, whether you improv or go with lines or whatever it is, create those moments there. And whatever you do in that moment pretty much is what's going to stay, unless he feels like you've gone way off to left field, and he tries to bring you back, and he'll give you some notes, or he'll give you some, he'll feed you something off camera. But other than that, it really comes down to you. And my first episode, man, when I was done shooting that first scene, I had no recollection of what I had done. I completely blacked out. I went up to him. I said, "I'm sorry if I don't know if I said my lines. I'm not sure what happened. I don't remember anything." Because it just happens so fast. But thankfully, like I mentioned before, it's not only the talent and the skills, which is a big part, mostly skills, but it's the biggest part, I think, is the experience. And having the experience of having done theater in New York for a couple of years, and having done about 30 plus films and short films and student films and all kinds of films in Florida for 2 years before stepping foot in LA, it gave me kind of like a platform where I could rely on my instincts and stand my ground against these two veterans of the show and these two veterans of TV, and be able to hold my own with them. And thankfully, it did so well that my contract got extended from 7 episodes to 17 episodes, and then it got extended to 24 episodes, and we're still going.
Right, exactly. And what a great thing. And as I mentioned earlier about social media, Geovanni, that is one of the ways, of course. I mean, I'm one of those live tweeters that tweets during the shows, especially for the haves and have-nots. I mean, what was that like for you to kind of come into this, this already built, juggernaut that is, kind of taken over Tuesday nights online? I mean, what has that been like for you to be a part of that and to see the way that people are so anxious about this show and want to be engaged with it?
Oh, I mean, the whole cast has done such a tremendous job of engaging the audience and having such a great fan base and maintaining the fan base and the storyline and the whole energy. I mean, working in the show is amazing. I mean, the crew just makes you feel like family as soon as you step on set. Everybody is really welcoming. The whole cast is very welcoming. So they make you feel very, very comfortable and eager to work with them. But the fan base has turned out to be a great reception. My crucial episodes, the ones that are really going to make people talk about, are coming up when the season starts again in May, I believe. That's when the real crucial episodes will come up, and I'm eager and excited to see what the fans are going to think, because these things that are going to be happening, things that my character is going to be doing, are things that the fans have been waiting for 5 years and haven't had a chance to see. It hasn't happened, and finally this season coming up is going to happen.
Wow.
And so that itself is very exciting to see the reaction of what's going to be.
Well, definitely gives us something to look forward to. We're going to be letting our audience know how to stay connected with you, Geovanni, here in just a bit. Before we let you go, though, I do want to talk to you about something that we both mentioned, and that is you're using your platform, using your spotlight to bring attention to causes that matter to you. You mentioned the Special Olympics. We're able to see some great photos of you, even going back to 2015, I noticed when I was prepping for this segment, working with the Special Olympics. I mean, talk to us about that and what that's been like for you to help to raise awareness, to bring awareness, and to make a difference by doing something that you love.
For me, it's just been about being a balance, and I didn't just randomly pick this organization or this cause. This is something that's been knocking on my door for a very long time. It's something I don't really talk about too much, but I do have an aunt that has mental disability. From my dad's side. I shared a home with a mentally disabled young kid. His name is Gilbert. He's the son of my manager, and I had we shared a home for a few years, and I got to see the daily routine and the ins and outs, and that kind of opened my heart and my mind as well to receive what came in 2015. While I was promoting Mall Cop 2, a movie I did with Kevin James, I went to an event called Gold Meets Golden event, where actors got to meet Olympic athletes and Special Olympic athletes, and we all got to mingle. And I met Lucy, this amazing girl. She's such an inspiration. Lucy has mental and physical disabilities, and she's spoken in front of congressmen. She speaks in front of schools. She's met presidents, President Obama, and she's a spokesperson for UNICEF and for Special Olympics to bring awareness and change policies regarding the special needs individuals. And her and I became quick friends, and we started working the floor together. And then soon after that, Special Olympics reached out to me and asked me if I would be a celebrity ambassador for them and help them promote, Special Olympics that year and bring awareness. And I absolutely loved the idea. I was so grateful that they offered it. So I became involved, and I used my platform, all my platforms, all my interviews, everything that I was doing, all the promotion I was doing for Mall Cop, to promote Mall Cop as well as bring awareness and promote Special Olympics. Focusing mostly in the Spanish market, because they really didn't have anyone focusing on that market.
Right.
And so I was able to do that. I'm able to do both. And so I also kicked off the first ever relay race across the U.S. which started in Miami, Washington, and New York, I believe. And it was across the U.S. I kicked it off in my hometown, Miami. I received it in L.A. We lit up the big torch that signified the beginning of the Special Olympics. And then during the Special Olympics, I got to walk with the South African team, which was an amazing experience, just be able to walk into that beautiful big stage that had prepared for all of us. South African team, and then from then on, I've been involved. And we just recently finished I was just part of a campaign to end the R word, which has been a very big thing every year, that we try to reach out to more people, bring them awareness of the demeaning nature behind the word. And we reach out to high schools. I was just in a panel at UCLA speaking about it, and we just try to bring as much awareness and educate as much as possible, and create empathy for the special needs, which is such a beautiful society. I mean, if you really want to talk about a society, a community that really spearheads the movement of inclusion. With special needs, there is no political agenda. There is no race boundaries. There is no sexual boundaries. There's none of that. They're just all inclusive. All they want is just a hug, a conversation, and just support. For the sports and for the stuff they do. It's just all about love. Right.
And I think it goes to something we talk about a lot on this program, Geovanni, is that, everyone just wants to be appreciated for who they are, and what they bring to the table. And it's great that you're able to help to not only share that message, but also to be able to help other people to appreciate the importance of that and to look for ways that they can do their part. I think that's the other thing. And I tell people, we all have our own platforms. We all have our own thing that we're able to do, but do what you can where you are. And it's great that you're able to do that using the platform that you have, and we really appreciate that. Again, everyone, Geovanni Gopradi has been our guest for the segment. Great conversation with you, Geovanni. We've been talking with him not only about his journey as an actor, but also just his journey in life, about what it's been like for him to do something that he loves when it comes to acting, but also the passion that he has for helping others and to be able to bring attention to causes that matter to him. Make sure you all are looking for him in the upcoming season of The Haves and the Have-Nots that's coming up. And for all other projects, Geovanni, where's the best place for our audience to go to stay connected with you?
All my social media can be found under my last name, Gopradi, Gopradi, and you can always look up my IMDb to see any upcoming projects that are yet to be publicly announced, but they'll be there.
All right. Well, thanks again for the time. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, man, glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late and missed part of the conversation with Geovanni, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media sites, so head over to facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there, too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.